SEO. All right. We'll let folks continue to trickle in here, but I'm going to go ahead and get started since we only have a half an hour today. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the presentation and then we'll do questions at the end. I'm excited to chat with y'all today and give you some SEO basics for farms and food businesses alike, and just an idea of where to begin and some stuff that you can start to do to begin to show up in search results better. So like I said, this is going to be quite a bit of information, but there'll be time for questions at the end. Anything that y'all want me to clarify, I'm happy to. A little bit about Taste the Local Difference. Taste the Local Difference is a local food marketing agency, and we specialize in marketing strategies and digital marketing, websites, etc., for farm and food producers and beverage producers, etc. We really believe in uplifting folks who are purpose-driven and passionate about what they do and why they do it and their stories. So we really have a really great set of clients that we're advocating for, and I'm thankful for all y'all that showed up today. A little bit more about me. My name is Kelly. I am the marketing director here at Taste the Local Difference. I was born and raised in Michigan, and I'm now based in Vancouver, Washington, which is just north of Portland, Oregon. It's a stone's throw across the bridge, which is nice. I get to be in a little bit of the suburbs, but the city is still close by. Um, I've been in marketing for over 10 years now and done a lot of digital project management and even more SEO. So I'm excited. I get kind of passionate about SEO, as my team can attest to, but I'm excited to talk to you all today a little bit about it. And I'm also a huge advocate for sustainable and local food systems. I love to forage, cook, and grow my own vegetables as well. All right, what we're going to cover today, what is SEO and why it matters for farms and food businesses. I'm going to give y'all a good understanding of keywords and headers, as well as alt text and other things that you can start to update on your website, as well as improving local discoverability. So we want folks to be able to find your farm and food businesses on Google search results when they're looking for products and services that y'all offer, as well as some free tools and resources that y'all can start using today. And then, as I mentioned, we'll go through any questions y'all have at the end. All right, what is SEO and why should you care? So, search engine optimization is how your business shows up on Google and other search engines. So, when somebody is looking for a farm stand near them, they're Googling farm stand near me, and we want your farm and food businesses to show up at the top so that they know who you are, what you're about, and they can find local food that they're looking for. So, it's how people find your farm in relation to your products, your farm name, farms near them. I'm going to be saying farm a lot throughout this webinar, but it also is applicable to farm and food businesses as well. So regardless, it's applicable to y'all. And Google has certain requirements and best practices that help determine which websites show up in search results. Try and say that 10 times fast. But the good news is there are clear, simple things that you can do on your website to improve your chances of being found by those customers who are already wanting to buy and participate in your services. So, a little bit about how search engines work. Google's job is to find websites, understand what they're about, decide which ones best answer a search query. So, if somebody's looking for cut flowers near them and they're in New York, in you can see that this example on the right here is a really great identity. It quickly gets to what they sell, where they are, and who they are. We want to understand what your farm is about and decide which ones best answer search results. So Google is going to show the most helpful and trustworthy results first, which is why we want to make sure that all of the information on your website is up to date, clear, and concise. So I got ahead of myself a little bit, but your job as the website owner is to make sure that your website is clear. It tells who you are, where you are, and what you sell. And the same goes for your social media as well. So making sure that on your Facebook and your Instagram, etc., that it clearly states who you are, where you are, and what you sell. And you want to make sure that it's helpful and it answers common questions that your customers have. So I would encourage you to think about the questions that you frequently get asked by your customers, whether it's at the farmer's market, in person at any sort of event, or pickup for your CSA. Any question that y'all get frequently from consumers, we want to make sure that that's answered on your website as well. And this makes it easy to understand. And we want to make sure that we're using strong page titles, headers, keywords, and alt text, which may sound a little bit foreign, but we'll get into what each of those are in a little bit. But on the right here, like I mentioned, there's some good examples. So at the farm, this is Mother Farmer on the right here. You can see clearly their address and how to get in touch and get directions, and then also where they're able to be found. And then there's an FAQ page example here on the right of they're answering their customers' most common questions to overcome those objectives before they even get to purchase the product. Um, Great. So first and foremost, I want to advocate for making your website clear first. We want to make sure that your website is not confusing or has any missing info or thin details, because if that's the case, then SEO can't help. Google isn't going to prioritize returning your website or your farm business in search results if any of the above is true. So that being said, we want to make sure that all of these details below are on your site and up to date. Anytime any of them change, you want to make sure that you're changing it not only on your website, but across all of your business platforms. So we want to be really, really clear about who you are, again, where you are, what you sell, how to buy, whether it's pickup, delivery, etc. When you're open, if you have farm stand hours or a specific pickup day, and then clear pages for main products and services. So if you're just getting started with your website, you only have one page right now. Think about building out that website into a little bit bigger of a web that includes information on your product and services as well. So, what are keywords? Keywords are the phrases that folks are typing into Google, and you want your website information to match what your customers are searching for. So, there's a couple examples on the right here that you can see, and then some keyword phrase examples on the left in the bulleted list. But even just doing a local search in my neck of the woods, farm stands near me, you can see these search results on the right. These folks have updated hours, updated phone number, they have their website linked, and then you can also get directions. And this is what Google calls their local map pack. And being able to be returned in this map pack shows trust and loyalty in that you're local, and you have updated information and also great reviews really help build that trust. And then the example of local ground beef on the bottom there, you can see that these folks have, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but this is a really good example of a title and a meta description. So you can see here, this is the title, and then this would be their meta description. And we'll get into more details in a minute. But there's some keyword phrase examples. CSA shares Portland, Oregon. We want y'all to be showing up for this when your customers or potential customers are Googling something similar. So a little activity that you can do after this webinar, just do a keyword brainstorm to think about what keywords should be included on your website. Think about what you're known for, where you're located, what do your customers ask you, like I've mentioned, what makes your farm unique? So what are you doing that other farms maybe aren't doing? And use this formula below. So product or service plus location plus intent. You can see that, let's take a look at the second one, farm stand hours, Vancouver WA. So farm stand is the product or service, the location, Vancouver, intent is they're looking for hours. So using that combination is going to lend itself really well to ranking well in Google search results. All right. I started to talk a little bit about these, but where to use these keywords. I want to encourage you to not overthink it. Make sure that you're writing for humans first, but including search terms that your customer will use. So generally, if you're thinking about how humans are searching for things and how humans are digesting things or having a conversation with you, that'll lend itself well to your website copy. And the foundations of good SEO would be page titles, headers, your first paragraph, and alt text. And we'll get into more descriptions of what those mean right here. Where to use these keywords. So the example on the right is from our localfoodmarketing.com Squarespace site. So this is how it's going to look on Squarespace if y'all have a Squarespace website. It'll look somewhat similar on Shopify and or WordPress or whatever platform you have it built on. But you can see on the right the page titles and the headers, the page title and the meta description here, aka Squarespace calls it the SEO description. That's what's going to be showing up in search results like I showed you a couple of slides ago. So where you had the hyperlink is the page title, and then the little description snippet that shows up on Google underneath can be tailored by you and show up exactly how you want it to in search results. So you have the opportunity in the back end of the website to edit the SEO title. And if you just do a quick Google search on how to update the title and meta description for your website platform, there should be a pretty simple resource to follow to be able to do it. But this is going to be at the page level for Squarespace websites. And I would encourage you to use something more descriptive than just products. So example on the right, we have local food marketing agency so that it comes up when folks are looking for a local marketing agency. Um, Another example, grass-fed beef in northern Michigan as opposed to products. So just get a little bit more descriptive there so folks can see and quickly click into exactly what product and service you're offering. And then if you think about a website page, it's going to be built similar to an outline of any sort of writing that you're doing. So your H1 is going to be your first and biggest header. You can see it here. This is our H1. This is the biggest. It shows up. It's going to be a hierarchy for Google to be able to crawl. And then our page title also shows up on our pages here at the top, and that's what's coming from here. So you want your H1 to be really strong. You want it to talk about exactly what you do. We are experts in local food, so that is clear, concise, written for human reading. A really great header, and an H1 is a fantastic opportunity to include any of the keywords related to your business that you want to be showing up for. And then some continued examples here. So your first paragraph is also very important on your web page, whether it's your home page, about page, a product page, your shop example, or etc. You want to share the most important information early. Again, I sound so redundant, but who you are, what you offer, and where you're located are so important, and using straightforward, natural language. So you can see here, different from the previous slide, this was our H1 and our page title. You can see here, this is going to be our H2 and our first paragraph with what we call a call to action button for folks to be able to explore opportunities and reach out to us. So really important to just have this updated, accurate, concise, and natural language. And then something that's a bit more behind the scenes, but equally as important to SEO and Google's ranking strategy is alt text. So anytime you have an image, this is, again is from Squarespace, but you're able to edit the content here. You can update the alternate file name to be more straightforward. So it has the orchard that this is from and what they're doing. But more importantly is this image alt text. So not only is this important for SEO, but it's important for accessibility reasons. Folks with screen readers who are going through and tabbing down the page will better be able to understand what's on the page if they're visually impaired. And also Google, when they crawl your website to understand the information on it, will be able to add context to what you do and who you are. So a good example of this, farmer harvesting apples into crates in an orchard with a tractor in the background. Again, plain language, it shows exactly what they're doing and it lets folks understand what's going on the page as well as Google. So it's really a win-win. I'll touch a little bit here on local versus national SEO. Most folks will be falling into that local category, with some of y'all falling into the national category. So, local SEO, we've talked about quite a bit already, but farm near me, CSA in city/region, etc. We want to help people near you find your business. So, great for farms because customers search things like I mentioned. And then local SEO cares about your location, your Google business profile, which we'll talk about next, and then a consistent name, address, and contact info. So really making sure that anywhere that your business shows up online has the correct name, the correct address, and the correct phone number so that potential customers who are finding your business for the first time know exactly where you are and how to contact you. Um, and then they also care about local keywords and local listings. So the near me intent that people are searching, farm stand near me, we want to make sure that you're coming up for that. Versus national SEO, which is not tied to a physical area. It's more common for national food brands, or if you're shipping online, we would want to consider national SEO. Um, but just keywords are going to be a little bit more difficult to rank for because there's more competition at a national scale as opposed to a local scale. But like I said, for most of y'all, local is going to be the most important to focus on. All right. Why local search matters. So most people are looking for farms, food, and markets close by to home. Local search helps your farm appear when customers are looking for places to buy food, fresh local products, any sort of farm experience, agritourism that you're offering, or any services that you're offering, whether it be composting, etc. Where local SEO helps you, like I mentioned on a previous slide, that map pack that shows up, we want your business to take up as much real estate as possible. So that's why having a filled out Google business profile, having a correct and accurate name, address, phone number, and having your website filled out accurately is going to lend itself to you taking up more space in search results and people seeing more of your business when searching on Google. So we want y'all to show up in maps, in your me results, reach real customers in your area. So the great thing about this is those customers who are searching these terms already have the intent to purchase. So we want to convert them from the intent to purchase to purchasing as seamlessly and easily as possible, building that trust right up front. Um, and it helps you stand out from bigger national brands. People are really looking for local food, and trust and transparency are a really big theme coming through. And we want to make sure that we're putting your farm in front of people who are already ready to buy. So if you do not have a Google business profile right now for your farm or food business, and you are serving folks locally, you need to get one. If there's one thing that you do when you hang out from this webinar, and I want you to go sign up for a Google business profile. You can either claim the current listing or sign up for a new one if you're not there at all. But please, please, please go do this and take advantage of it. It's going to help you show up in the map pack. It's going to lend trust and transparency to the folks finding you. You're just going to be discoverable across the more platforms. So it helps your farm show up in, like I mentioned, the map pack, Google Maps in general. So if somebody has their phone open, they need directions, or they're out of town and they're looking for a farm near them to get some produce, they're going to open Google Maps and we want you to show up higher and in those near me results as well. So, yeah, as I mentioned, if you're a farm with customers, markets, or visitors, you absolutely need a Google business profile. So you can just Google search Google business profile, and the first link that comes up should allow you to create your listing for your business. And yeah, we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but where the local SEO helps you um, finding you in those near me results. And this is just an example of the farmers market that I go to. Really great. You can see they have a ton of reviews. They talk about when they're open, their location, address, phone number, their hours are up to date. And then you also get reviews. If you integrate your Facebook and Instagram, you can get some reviews that way as well. Um, Great. A little bit more on Google Business Profiles and what it does for your farm or food business. It puts your business on the map, literally. It helps customers discover you, shows your hours, location, website, and updates, as I mentioned on the previous slide. And then it builds trust through photos and reviews. So making sure that those photos are up to date, recycling the ones that you take for social media or that you have taken for your website. Post a few of those to your Google business. so that people can see the faces at your farm, the products that you offer, how you're growing, the practices that you use. Really build that relationship before they even meet you. Um, so what you'll need to do is claim or create your profile, add your name, address, phone, and website. Y'all are going to be sick of me saying name, address, phone number, but I want it to be correct everywhere. It's so important. And then you can choose business categories, so whatever you're selling or services that you're offering. And then, like I mentioned, add photos and updates as needed. You can create posts on Google Business just like you can for social media. So it encourages you to just recycle content and make sure that wherever somebody's finding you, there's updated content, updated photos. And the more that you participate in Google, in your Google business profile, the higher it will rank, the more Google will trust you, and the more Google will prioritize your business, especially if your website is updated and really robust and answering these questions alongside your Google business profile. They work really well together. Some other local listings to consider. So Google isn't the only place for folks to discover farms. I'm thinking when you're looking at a Google search results page, you want to take up as much real estate as possible, like I mentioned. So if you have an up-to-date website, you have an Instagram, you have a Facebook, and somebody's searching your farm name, you're going to be taking up that first, second, and third spot. And then participating in any of these sort of directories, local food guides, vendors list for a farmer's market, farm share directories, local organizations, anybody that you're partnering with, those are going to show up right after on Google search results. So you're taking up that entire first page. And one point I wanted to make on this slide was that if you're, let's say, doing a CSA pickup, but you also offer dairy or meat products or eggs from another local farm or ranch, make sure that they're listed on your website. Make sure that those producers are listed and linked and ask them to do the same. That's what's called a backlink. And it also gives your website a higher trust score, a higher authority score in Google search rankings. So participate as much as you can in these free tools, ask to be listed, and make sure those listings are up to date. So if you have any sort of control over, again, your name, address, phone number, making sure that's up to date, submit photos, submit some details. Really make sure that you're showing up in your online presence how you want to be presented in person. Um, Very important. All right. So here are some free SEO tools to use. There's so many that are available, but I wanted to jump into Google Search Console first and foremost. So this is a really, really great free tool. It's going to essentially make sure that your website is indexing properly, which is jargony, but um, make sure that your website is indexing properly. And sorry, my dogs are barking. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they always choose the perfect moment. But Google Search Console is going to be really great to show you not only what people are searching for related to your website, um, give you some keyword ideas and opportunities, but it's also going to show you the technical side of it, making sure that there's no 404s, making sure that your site is indexed on Google properly and it's being seen and crawled by Google and indexed so that all of that clear information that we talked about earlier is actually being seen. So you're putting in the effort and then you're making sure in Google Search Console that your website's sitemap, which is just all of the pages on your website, is being indexed and found by Google and then in tandem by folks who are searching for um, products and services related to your business. There's also analytics tools within your platforms wherever your website's built. So Squarespace and Shopify each have analytics in the back end. That's going to show you clicks, pages, time spent on the page, let you tailor your content, see what's doing well, what's not doing well. There's also Google Analytics if you want to get a little bit more advanced there, but I would say that if you're on WordPress, Google Analytics is a great solution because there's not a native analytics um, feature there unless you have a plugin. So use those analytics tools, use Google Search Console, and then another great tool if you want to Google products or services that you're selling and see what other people are doing. If you scroll down to the people also ask, it's a little accordion menu that shows up sometimes on Google. When you're searching, you can expand those and see what information Google is finding relevant to questions that are related to the products and services that you're offering. And you can kind of take some inspiration from what is being ranked and what information is resonating with people as they're searching products and services related to your business. Um, I kind of alluded to what these tools help you with already, but seeing how people find you, understanding what Google knows about your site, that's going to be the Google Search Console piece. Identifying simple fixes, so Google Search Console will also tell you what's broken and what's not indexing, what's not working that you can fix. And also supporting ongoing improvement. So, like I mentioned, seeing what resonates with people, what doesn't resonate with people, and being able to lean into what resonates with people more. All right. This was a lot of SEO information fast, but putting it all together, I want to give y'all just a list of what to focus on first and what a good SEO webpage looks like. So, as I've mentioned, claim or update your Google business profile. First and foremost, do it by the end of the week. Do it when you can. Just prioritize it. It is free and it is so important, especially to Google's algorithm. Work on filling out those SEO fields on your website platform. So the title and meta descriptions that I showed y'all, as well as alt text. Make sure that your header structure is correct. So H1, H2, H3, like a hierarchy throughout the page. Um, I already mentioned alt text, and then fix any information gaps. I'm going to say it one more time. Who you are, what you sell, and where you are should be front and center, easy to answer, and also on your social profiles. A good SEO web page looks clear and specific with your page title, helpful descriptive headers, a clear first paragraph that explains what your farm does and your offerings, relevant images. That's actually a really big one, making sure that the images are relevant to what you're serving because they will show up in search results sporadically too. So you don't want to be trying to sell bulk beef and it's a picture of a chicken. So we want to make sure that those pictures are correct and up to date. Um, and then again, clear and local context, who you are and who you serve. All right, you guys have got this. Start small, focus on clarity and accuracy, make a few improvements at a time, and remember that SEO progress takes time. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be a first month or second month. The long game of SEO is about 6 months, so you'll start to see some results around that 6 month mark if you're doing all of this correctly. Um, all right. So here's my email if y'all want to get in touch about anything. But with that being said, we have a couple minutes left. Does anybody have any questions? And also, I'll say that my inbox is open if y'all think of any questions from this session that you want to go ahead and email me. I'm happy to do any quick follow-ups as well. All right. No open questions, but I'll allow y'all to type for a second if you need to. Good to go. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Like I mentioned, my inbox is open if y'all have any follow-up questions. And yeah, just yes, we're gonna send the recording as well. So y'all can review this and we'll send the presentation too, so you can go in and really digest it and take a look at the information in the presentation as well. So we'll send that out to y'all. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you coming out. Let me know if you have any additional questions, and I appreciate your time. Bye, y'all.